So we received a piece of technology that's changed our workflow. Mine from a personal capacity and my teams and the projects that I work on in a practical capacity. It's the Synology DS920 Plus, a 4-bay tower NAS that we use as our own cloud server. We're literally copying and using it right now, so I cannot unplug it. Like, that's how vital this thing is to our business. For those of you that don't know, Synology is a brand that makes servers and intelligent storage devices. I'm saying intelligent here intentionally. You'd usually typically find these in office spaces or you worked in a big company, but because of more people working from home, more households and more creative individuals that are grafting on their own, we are starting to look into getting NASs at home. The reasons are pretty straightforward. Massive cloud space is extremely expensive and usually runs at monthly rates. So a NAS, although it is more expensive initially, it's a once-off purchase. Number two, it's upgradable. So you can get a tower that suits your particular needs, ones that will most likely be different or models that are perhaps smaller. Number three, it's always available on your premises, which is useful, for instance, like if your internet goes down and you need to access files locally and not from the cloud. And of course, if it's on your home network, it goes through your Ethernet, so that doesn't consume your internet cap. So if any device in the household that needs to draw files from the NAS, it can do so while the internet is down. Synology have a couple of added features which make them excellent to start out in the space as a content creator. A lot of this is really confusing, and I think a lot of people are very intimidated about having an NAS, but don't be. Synology have kind of given some tools to make it a little bit easier. Firstly, there's something called Quick Connect, which allows you to access your device on any machine with a browser and an internet connection. All you have to do is go to quickconnect.io and sign in with the credentials that you originally created the right security protocols with. This means that not everybody's got access, but only the accounts that you create with access to the drive. For a team, it might mean certain team members who have the privileges, or for a family, certain family members might have those privileges, and then those people can have access to certain files that they're working with. You can manage all of that. I work on many different projects for different clients, so I have created accounts using clients' emails that work with specific folders on our drive, which is really impressive for clients because it shows that we're professional, that we have our own storage and that they can access it, and that those files are there for a little bit longer while they need access to it. Because if you are a wedding photographer, for instance, your clients need access to those files for a certain period of time. You can literally give them a temporary login. If you want more integrated access that doesn't require you to log in with a browser, you can set up the Synology Drive client. This allows you or a team member to access your Synology Drive through an app, either on your phone or on your desktop. You can also use this app to sync certain folders on both Mac and PC, which is great if you have a folder that needs to be constantly updated. For instance, in our creative workflow, we have a lot of 4K footage that needs to be readily available for editors and other team members. We can then set up video dump folders that automatically populate as soon as the footage is dumped, reducing the time the editor has to wait for that footage to get to them, which is really important because with YouTube and all digital content, the sooner you've got that stuff, the faster it goes online, the more relevant your channel is. I'd also like to highlight how cool and convenient the app is because we do a lot of work with Samsung, a mobile provider, and we're filming with our phones a lot. We have to upload that footage that we have on our mobile devices. So I usually use Google Photos for that, but it's really inconvenient because again, it's 4K footage for work that has to be uploaded. It ends up taking up all of my private Google Photo account space with irrelevant footage that I don't necessarily want to keep, and it's hard to manage. And then it ends up costing me more money to increase the file capacity of that account and it's to go through all the different files there and micromanage what needs to be deleted, which takes up a lot of unnecessary time, and also I run the risk of losing files that I don't want to throw away. With the Synology Drive app, I can send footage directly to appropriate folders, and once they're uploaded, just simply delete them from my local device because you don't want to have your phone just full of nonsense either. And I can do it directly from the share tray, which is super convenient. But if we film on cameras, which we do just as often as mobile devices, to be honest, those take SD cards. Copying from an SD card can be quite tricky because you need it on the drive for the editor, and then you've got to clear your card for the next shoot, and we'll often film 3 videos or more in one day. This isn't the first video that I'm filming in this session. Instead of copying to the drive from your PC or Mac and waiting for it to upload, the DS90 Plus model supports USB copy, which allows us to plug in a USB SD card reader into the front and copy the footage directly to the drive. That way it's copying over faster and more directly, and really speeds up the administrative process and the side of shooting. Quite honestly, I don't know how we functioned without one of these. And as a content creator, regardless of what you're doing, if you're a wedding photographer, a YouTuber, a filmmaker, whatever you do creatively, having local storage for your work, the ability to access that as a home cloud solution, as well as more affordable storage in the long term, is something you should be looking into. There are a couple of other things that you can do with the drive, and this is the thing that you might want to do. Just dig a little bit deeper into some of the apps that Synology have for their ecosystem. One of the things that I have is Home Assistant, and one of the reasons it's exciting is that the NAS is always on. Home Assistant runs off a virtual machine. I don't have to set up a Raspberry Pi with its own storage, which is a solution that a lot of other people use. But because it's on the NAS and it's always on, I have remote access using Google Assistant to a whole bunch of devices in and around my house, which is super exciting. And that is an app that you can install on your drive straight up. So there are lots of different solutions. And as a creative, I really would like to see what you guys are using your NASs for, or what you would like to use your NASs for. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you guys in another video. Cheers.